Hello, Dale Majors here, and welcome to the first video in a several-part series all about mindset. And today specifically, we're going to talk about why you're never really going to feel ready and why it's best to just get started. So if you feel that you're constantly putting things off or not starting things that you would like to start, then this video is for you. I'm going to give several tips that you can apply immediately, several mindsets that you can kind of adopt starting today to be more action-oriented and just get started on those things that you really want to accomplish. And if you stick around till the end, I'm going to tell you a story about how I turned pins and posters into a several million-dollar business. And if Richard Branson can start an airline in his 20s, then why can't you and I start a business or get a new workout routine and just get going on the things that we want to do? We can. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Did you know that Virgin Airlines was started by Richard Branson in his 20s? He was on a trip to go visit a girlfriend in the Virgin Islands, and the flight got canceled. He didn't have the money to do this, but he went and chartered a private plane. He wrote $29 on a blackboard and then went to all those people that were also waiting to go to the Virgin Islands and sold them the tickets. They filled the flight and flew to the Virgin Islands. And that's how Virgin Atlantic was born. Crazy. Something really big started with something really small, and I don't think he was ready to start an airline. It just happened. He took action. And a lot of times, smart people can get in their own way because they already foresee all the different bottlenecks and roadblocks that might be ahead of them in their journey. A lot of times it's best to just start. A good friend of mine started a really big business, and midway through it, I remember him telling me, Dale, if I knew all of the different headaches and problems that I would have in this business, it's so competitive, it's so this, it's so that, I probably wouldn't have started. Fast forward 5 years, he sold that business for tens of millions of dollars and became a decamillionaire. I'm pretty sure he was happy that he just got going. And a lot of times, we're smart enough to figure it out, we just need to get started. So for him, as he continued to run his business, he became more and more comfortable with it and became more of a boss around how to run the thing. So there's a quote that I really love by Heber J. Grant that says, "That which we persist in doing becomes easier, not that the nature of the task has changed, but our ability to perform it increases." So when we do something that's hard at first, it's still just as hard for other people, but it becomes much easier for us. That's why the sooner we can get started, the more quickly we're going to become an expert at that thing. The thought of making a training video used to really intimidate me. And now that I've made several hundred YouTube videos, it's just not a thing anymore. When I was 14, I started building a bike way before I was ready. I took it apart, I spray painted the thing, put it back mostly together. I never even finished it. But that propelled me to build another bike when I was 16 and then start selling bike parts when I was 18. And now I've toured over 9,000 miles all over the world because I got into bikes. I just started before I was ready. You need to be okay doing something imperfectly. When I was in 7th grade, I built a half pipe on the side of my house. I really just stacked boards on a wood pile on both sides. It was really rickety and ghetto. But that summer, do people say ghetto anymore? I'm sorry. I'm not 37-year-olds. But that summer, I built a real live half pipe. Like it was 8 feet wide. No, it was 8 feet high, 12 feet wide, 34 feet long. It was so nice and legit. But it came because I started building something even before I was ready by building these little test half pipes on the side of my house. I love the quote by John Steinbeck. And now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. There's a lot of talk about imposter syndrome. We were all babies once, and all babies are imposters. They can't do anything by themselves for the first year of their lives, right? Or for at least the first several months. I know, I've got a lot of babies. They're all imposters. At what point does a baby graduate from being an imposter? I don't think they do. I don't think that we graduate. And there's no knighting, you don't become given the permission of you're no longer an imposter. They didn't do that to me in kindergarten or ever. We kind of just have to make our own way. So the imposter syndrome thing, we just have to graduate ourselves from it. And actually, that's what today's video is about. I am graduating you. You are no longer an imposter. Here's my sword. I'm kind of knighting you. No longer an imposter. Boom, you graduated. My first trade show, I was an imposter. One of my friends, Chris, said, hey Dale, you want to go to this bike trade show? It's in Vegas, and we can go and get free posters and pins to resell on eBay for $10, $20, $30 each, especially if you can get Lance Armstrong. And they've got these Shimano pins and whatever else. And I said, cool, that sounds great, I'm in. So you go to the trade show and you get find pins and posters and everything else. And you sell them on eBay. It's like the ghettoest thing ever. We were the bottom feeders of the trade show. And I wasn't ready. It was embarrassing, unprofessional, so bad. But on the side, I said, hey, would you sell to me? No, we're not gonna sell to you. You're an eBay seller and you sell out of your garage. Why would I sell to you? I went back the next year and had much better reasons for them to sell to me. And the year after that, and the year after that, and eventually, that company, Bike Wagon, we grew to $10 million in revenue. And we started in a very poor way, but we just got started. Were we ready? No, we weren't ready, but we got started. And that points out something else as far as getting started when you're not quite ready. Vulnerability. I really like this quote by, Charlie Shaturo, and in a blog article that I read from him, he says, if we consider the most powerful and beautiful moments in our lives, they were probably rooted in vulnerability. And I can say that. A lot of times when we're pushing the boundaries of our comfort zone and really putting ourselves out there, that's when we're truly alive. So when was the last time you were truly alive? I was talking to my friend about I did a 7-day fast last year. It was the hardest thing I did last year. And I said, do you even have hard things to do anymore? A lot of times, we don't have that many hard things to do in life. So if we can, practice doing hard things, that's one of the reasons I do fasting. I'll include a link in the video to a 7-day water fast that I did where I didn't eat for 7 days. It was interesting. I started small though. I started with a 1-day fast, then 2, then 3, but then 7. Okay, there's all this talk about you don't have to be ready, just get started. You do need to be prepared. Do you need to be ready? Is that the same? Am I contradicting myself? Let me just say it this way. I think business is a lot like big wave surfing. You can't control it completely, but you can control your fitness. If I'm a surfer, then I'm gonna do my best to learn about the waves, to be in great shape, to practice surfing all the time, and to be an amazing surfer. And then when the big wave comes, my likelihood of doing well on that big wave is gonna be much higher than it would be if I were just sitting around. So we can focus on being prepared, focus on becoming an amazingly efficient, good person at whatever craft you're working on, focus on that and be prepared, but you're never really gonna feel ready. So we're amazing creatures, and you are too, because you've been knighted out of the imposter syndrome. You're no longer an imposter, and we're capable of really great things. I think that just getting started is a real key for a lot of us, and a lot of people that are successful because they just took that first step. So think about something where you have been putting it off and identify a step that you can take and just take it. And comment below if you did, and I'll give you props and whatever else, but make that happen. Over the next several weeks, I'm gonna be releasing lots of videos about mindset, different mindsets you can adopt and you can follow along. I'll put one here, and then I'll also include a link to the 17-day masterclass that I prepared a couple months ago that's been really helpful. So if you're looking to kind of revamp your life and take your life to the next level, then go through that. So check them out, and I'll see you in the next video.